I'm from Nekota and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Ken Godler and I'm from Australia, but I'm part Fijian from Watraki, and I love listening to Today FM Rocks.
For the best music and less talk, we tune into Today FM in Nasilai Village. Today FM rocks.
My name is Inai Ali and I'm from Ba, and I love the big breakfast on Today FM. I just love it and hope you love it too.
My name is Jay from Lapasa. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Naushin and I'm from Sambeto, and I love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Good evening, I'm Amrita Priyadarshini and this is FBC News. Tonight, the late Ratuchoni's body lies in state. Tax agency on track to hitting revenue target. And Biosecurity Agency warns against breach of emergency declarations. The body of the late former Vice President Ratuchoni Mandraiwiwi tonight lies in state on the Chiefly Island of Bau. The funeral cortege left Suva this afternoon, taking Ratuchoni's body back to his place of birth. Savara Tambua has more.
Members of the Fiji military forces were pallbearers for the body of the late Ratuchoni Mandraiwiwi. Prime Minister Borenge Mbanimarama from the Natena clan led the cortege as the late Ratuchoni was his high chief.
He is the main leader of our Yabusa Ratu in the country. Whatever he decides, we will follow it.
People from all walks of life paid their respects as the cortege traveled through Suva on its way to Mbau Island. Ratuchoni once said it will be impossible to achieve this, keeping the people together, if the elders and chiefs have their own way and are too proud of their chiefly status to not bring themselves down to the people. Tomorrow, the country will mourn the loss of a chief, leader, and a great man. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
The Fiji Revenue and Customs Authority is on track to surpass its forecast revenue collection of $2.68 billion for the 2016-2017 fiscal year. Acting Chief Executive Vishwanath Das says this will be possible through the new VAT monitoring system that will be put in place by the end of the year. Maggie Boyle reports.
2 months into the new financial year and government coffers are looking supple, with $450 million already collected.
In 2017, we have a revenue forecast of 2.68 billion, and given the current revenue collections at this point in time, we say we are up 5% compared to the same period last year.
Das says they're advocating the strategy of voluntary compliance to curb tax evasion. He says this will be boosted further once the new VAT monitoring system comes online by year end.
Yes, that's the whole VAT monitoring project. So we did say that it's going to be supermarkets, and actually all across the VAT taxpayer population. But we had agreed that we will pilot it with the supermarkets. So there's work in progress on that.
Another area the FRCA boss is talking up is whistleblowing and how the public can effectively take businesses to task for evading taxes which are needed for the development of the country. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
The Biosecurity Authority of Fiji will fine people who breach emergency declarations meant to prevent the spread of invasive termites. The authority says the Asian subterranean termites infestation could get worse if people don't heed warnings. Edwin Nunn reports.
The termite infestation in Lautoka and Lambasa has existed for a decade now, and the Biosecurity Agency says the only solution is to contain these pests.
It cannot be eradicated. It's something which is underground. We can't be digging a hole of Lautoka and eradicating. We can't be pouring chemicals, which is basically more than $300,000-400,000 worth of chemicals pouring all over Fiji. We cannot do that. That's not viable.
So far this year, the authority has inspected almost 2,600 homes in Lautoka and about 250 in Lambasa. Xavier Khan says the authority has diverted manpower and equipment to infested areas, helping hundreds of families.
But we have to understand that authority cannot just contain or maintain. I know there has been a lot of question in terms of the delivery of the authority, in terms of how the authority is incompetent. No, my officers are very competent.
The real worry is people ignoring emergency measures, which could make the infestation worse.
If you stand in past Lotoka at nights, you will see people moving. People are moving furniture, people are moving timber. And the worst part is that we also see the sale of timber, sale of dressed timber, which is basically not treated.
Khan says it's time to apply the law and issue fines because advice has fallen on deaf ears. People can be fined up to $20,000 for breaching biosecurity restrictions, while corporate companies face a fine of $100,000. Edwin Nam, FBC News.
Nandi will be declared a city by end of next year. Local Government Minister Parveen Kumar had confirmed this during consultations with municipal councils in Nandi. Pranita Prakash reports.
Nandi is the tourism capital of Fiji and our first impression for hundreds of thousands of people flying into the Nandi International Airport. It's set to become Fiji's third city.
The plan for Nandi to be declared city is in, we will have it by fourth quarter of 2017 for Nandi.
I think it's going to be a great move because for me, I think it'll create a lot of opportunities and hopefully it'll open doors for employment and jobs.
I think it's a good move because Nandi is an international spot and tourists are coming to this town.
It's a good thing. It's looking forward for Nandi to come to be a city, and it's a very good. We're happy about that.
Local Government Minister Parveen Kumar says work is also underway to declare Navua a town. An earlier announcement was deferred due to lack of infrastructure.
I've asked Fiji Roads Authority to upgrade the roads, footpaths and streetlights. Once it's completed, then and only we will declare Navua as a town.
Damaged culverts are being replaced, footpaths leveled out and streetlights are expected to be installed. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
The publisher of the Fiji Times, Hank Arts, had applied for bail variation to allow him to travel overseas, but this has been opposed by state prosecutors. His lawyer Faisal Hanif asked the court's permission for Arts to travel to New Zealand. Sharon Shivan filed this report.
The court was told that Arts has multiple medical problems as well as hip replacement and he needs to go for medical review later this month. He also wants to attend his daughter's wedding in February next year. His lawyer also told court that his client has lived in Fiji most of his life. His assets and properties are in Fiji. His wife is a Fiji citizen and he only makes occasional trips to New Zealand. Prosecution argued that Arts has a strong connection with New Zealand and might not return to Fiji, which will affect the High Court proceedings. Arts, along with Fiji Times editor-in-chief Fred Wesley and Anare Ravula, are charged with inciting communal antagonism. Politician Josiah Wagambada faces the same charge for allegedly writing a letter to the editor in the Itaukei publication Nai Lalakai with antagonistic comments against Muslims. The four are alleged to have made or caused to be published a statement that is likely to incite dislike, hatred or antagonism of the Muslim community. The matter will be called for first mention in the Suva High Court on the 14th of this month with a ruling on bail variation a day earlier. The charge carries a maximum penalty of 10 years imprisonment under the crimes decree. Sharin Shivan, FBC News.
Still to come on FBC News, seasonal work eases urban drift. And overcrowding still an issue for Fiji Correction Services. Stay with us.
En namban tuan tinangan ng Bula FM en usur. Bula FM, namban tuan en ser.
Bula siya, Buni Babu Lambasa, nada ko Vila Merikibi,
Bula FM number 2 Nasser, talita itungai lamas.
Bula FM number 2 Nasser.
Welcome back. You're with FBC News. Now, recruiting people from rural communities for seasonal work is one way of easing the rural-urban drift. Employment Minister Tshone Usamate says this is why they've taken the program to isolated communities. Senia Nimboila has more.
200 people from rural Fiji are earmarked for the next batch of seasonal workers leaving next month.
Now we have a heavy concentration of population from Suva to Lami, so we need to be able to do things to keep people out in the rural areas, and by giving these job opportunities to those people, we hope that we'll be able to address that, because that is something that government is very focused on.
Usamati says the money earned by these seasonal workers will be pumped back into rural communities, helping families generate income.
First opportunity for everything always go to those living in urban areas. Rural dwellers deserve to be part of this program. They deserve it.
This program will greatly help those living in the rural areas. This will really help them.
This is a good opportunity for those who are living in the rural area. It's a great help.
With 500 people already in the pool, the Employment Ministry is looking into finding Fijians who most need the job, starting with the recruitment drive on the island of Mbenga tomorrow. Sainia Nimboila, FBC News.
Overcrowding in corrections facilities is still a challenge for the Fiji Corrections Service. Commissioner Commander Francis Keane believes the solution is avoiding custodial sentencing.
There are 1,423 convicts in various corrections facilities in Fiji, over the limit by close to 300.
We want community-based corrections for some of our young offenders who are not juveniles. So there's some provisions that's before the court. Again, going back to this contamination issue. They don't come into prison. They go straight into this community-based correction straight out of the courts.
Commander Keane says a review of the current Corrections Act will recommend measures to prevent criminals being imprisoned for minor offences. The Corrections Service is also relooking at the type of facilities used to house inmates.
Dormitory type prisons are quite good. It could come in handy when you have overcrowding, rather than the individual cell blocks. So at the moment we have a lot of dormitory typed prison facilities, which is helping us in addressing some of this overcrowding.
Discussions involve lawmakers, the judiciary, as well as faith-based groups which can help rehabilitate convicts. Edwin Nand, FBC News.
The Tertiary Scholarship and Loans Board is trying to help students under its loan scheme who have abandoned their studies. TSLB Chief Executive Officer Bobby Maharaj says they will ensure that students complete their education. Ali Kimbia has more.
Discussions is ongoing between the Tertiary Scholarship and Loans Board and various universities to assist students who've walked away from studies.
Any student who may have abandoned their studies or was not able to complete their studies previously, what they'll do is maybe come and see us and see one of our student counselors. We can sit down with them, we can look at what their issues were, what was the reason for them abandoning their studies.
Maharaj is very clear they will help struggling students, but those who are dropped by tertiary institutions won't have it so easy.
They were terminated by the institutions for not being able to meet the academic regulations. Then the expectation is that they have to start repaying whatever they had borrowed from the government through TSLB.
The board doesn't have an exact number on how many students have dropped out after taking a loan from the TSLB. These numbers are expected to come in slowly. More than 15,000 people are assisted under the Tertiary Education Loan Scheme. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Moving from fossil fuels to cleaner forms of energy is the focus of a regional renewable energy conference in Nandi. Pacific Island countries use 70% fossil fuels, resulting in high import bills. Ellen Stoltz with this story.
The heavy reliance on fossil fuels has been an issue for the Pacific for many years.
We already see a number of emerging technologies in all these sectors of transportation. The production of electrical vehicles is increasing exponentially around the world, and it's predicted that within the next decade, they will reach the same level of production as the current vehicles.
The government is trying to educate people on the importance of using clean, green energy.
You've seen the influx of hybrid vehicles that has come in. You've seen there's a couple of electric vehicles that are currently on our roads. This is the way that we have moved, that the government has undertaken, reduction in tax to bring in these vehicles.
Professor Chalapan Kalawin, who has lived in various parts of the Pacific, says Fiji has the potential for more solar energy projects.
The sun is plentiful. It's sun's here every day. And it's important that you use the science, you use the technology, use the capacity to go get it.
These stakeholders will share their experiences and best practices for the advancement and large-scale development of renewable energy projects in the region. Ellen Stolz, FBC News.
Food clinics are being established around the country as part of efforts to raise awareness on the importance of food care in diabetes. The Ministry of Health and Diabetes Fiji are establishing these clinics, with the most recent one being opened at the Wainikoro Health Centre in Maduata. Eleanor Turangaivu with this report.
Food care is a form of prevention and intervention to ensure that the limbs are preserved and not amputated. According to recent statistics from the Ministry of Health, there is one amputation every 8 hours.
Access of food care will lead to reduction in amputation. It certainly prevents people losing their limbs and certainly preserves the mobility of our people. So it's a very important component of diabetes care, food care.
Acting Permanent Secretary for Health Services, Dr. Jokore Vuete, says food care is essential in lowering the risk of infection in diabetes patients. The establishment of food clinics at health centers around the country is aimed at helping diabetes patients have easy access to such care.
Our government promotes having quality services and having services that are easily accessible to by our people. So just having it at one center does not allow that, should not be promoted, but having it decentralized so that people who need the service could easily access it.
Last week, a food clinic was opened at the Wainikoro Health Centre by Diabetes Fiji Chairman Dr. Wahid Khan. Already there are about 50 diabetic patients getting food care from the clinic. Eleanor Turangaivu, FBC News.
Jamie joins us now with today's action from the ANZ Stadium and Natandola Golf Course.
Thanks, Amrita. That's right. In sports after the break, action from day 2 of the courtside EC. And Houston takes lead after the first day of the Fiji International. Stay with us for the details.
मैं जुगेन नंबिलो तालिब से रेडियो फीजी 2 24 घंटे में मेरे साथ साथ रहता है।
हम मंगेरी ताउका के ललेश है। हमारे दिल में और दिमाग में खाली रेडियो फीजी 2 है और सभी भाइयों से आग्रह करते हैं कि रेडियो फीजी 2 सुनना चाहिए।
मेरा नाम अविनेश है, मैं नंदी का रहने वाला हूँ। मैं सभी समय रेडियो फीजी 2 सुनता हूँ क्योंकि उसमें आईना प्रोग्राम रहता है।
हाय, मैं उमेश नसासा नाबुआ से। मैं जब
Australian Anthony Houston carded a 7-under par 65 to take an early lead at the end of day 1 at the Fiji International Golf Tournament in Natandola. Houston equaled Vijay Singh's course record set last year. Meanwhile, Singh carded a 2-under par 70 today to be tied at 21st position. And joining us live now from Natandola is Rohit Deo with a roundup of day 1.
Continental Resort here in Natandola, where most of the players and officials participating in the tournament are staying. And of course, day 1, what a day. We had beautiful weather, perfect conditions for golf. And like you mentioned, a course record being equaled earlier today. But with me tonight, I have Dylan Fritelli, all the way from South Africa. He recorded a score of 2-under par 70 today, same as our own Vijay Singh. Dylan, how did you see day 1 go for you?
It went pretty good. We had the afternoon draw today, so the wind was blowing pretty strongly there. It was a tough day for the afternoon players, but I played nicely. I played in the company of Michael Henry. He played pretty well, and then the other Aussie played really well. He shot, I think, 5 under, so I'm really happy to be under par for the round and looking forward to tomorrow.
And Dylan, you're just 26 years of age and playing at this level, that's an achievement itself. But you've also won the Rolex Trophy on the European Challenge Tour this year. How is it? What's the experience like playing against the big guns on the tour?
Oh, it's awesome being out here. I saw Vijay on the practice days. Obviously, he's one of the best players in the history of the game. And some Americans out here, Boo Weekley and Brandt Snedeker, they really are some of the top guys in the world right now. So to have them out here and play in the same field as them it's really inspiring. And I'm hoping to play well this week and compete with them and maybe even beat them come the end of the week.
Thank you so much for your time and all the best for the remainder of the tournament.
Cool. Thanks a lot.
Well, there you go. Another player who raised eyebrows today was Australian Stephen Linney. He recorded a score of 6 under par 66. That's just one stroke off the leader. And we spoke to him earlier today, and this is what he had to say. Satisfied with his first day's performance, Stephen Linney says the key to today's good score was the early start.
It was a very good day. There wasn't much breeze this morning for the first 9 holes, and I made sort of 4 or 5 birdies through 11 holes, and then but I just played well all day, so it was nice to get off to a good start.
Linney adds that the good field of golfers is also a motivation to do better.
Very good field, especially when Vijay's playing, but there's some good American, Brandt's playing, and Boo Weekley, and Heath Slocum, and Bowditch, and those guys. There's a lot of good players. It's a very good field this week.
The 7-time PGA tournament winner says the greens have been in perfect condition on the first day.
It's such a spectacular golf course to play that you can never be upset playing here because you've got a beautiful vista to look over.
Linney won his first title at the Moroccan Open in 1998 and claimed the Dutch Open later that season, a tournament he won again in 2000. His last win came at the Linde German Masters in 2002. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, spectators, players, ground staff and officials at the Fiji International today got to meet the tournament ambassadors. Fiji Sevens reps Jose Kolunisau, Masive Sintakuwanga and Emosi Mulevoro, along with Miss World Fiji Pooja Priyanka and NRL's Jared Hayne, went through their first public signing today. For Kolunisau, today's session was somewhat of a continuation from the Olympic Games celebrations.
Doing what we're here for as ambassadors and playing our part and signing autograph and taking pictures with the public, and it just continues from, like you said, from the Olympic, and people are still pumped and, still happy about the win at the Olympics.
We're doing similar sessions for the remainder of the tournament. The Bar football side got day 2 of the Court Centre District Championships underway with a 4-0 win over Nreketi. The men in black had too much firepower for the Minnows. Bar now has 4 points after 2 games, while Nreketi is on 1 point. Suva has registered its first win at the Courts IDC, beating Nandrunga 3-0. Suva lost 2-1 to Lambasa yesterday and needed the win to keep its chances alive for a spot in the semi-finals. Suva's goals were scored by Chisoni Takala, Nikhil Chand and Felipe Maravilala. Meanwhile, the senior division at the IDC kicked off in style this morning. Hot favourites Raki Raki looked to be on target, ending the day with 2 wins from 2. Meli Tavanga has more from today's games.
With the Premier Division still in all the limelight, there was no lack of action in the senior division. Title contenders Raki Raki found the going tough against Vatukola, but they finally managed to secure the 3 points, scoring in the last minute.
We can't say it's a build-up because we have brought in new players who will not be eligible to play in the playoffs. We'll be using our old boys. So we are here to win the IDC and we make sure we win this tournament.
Nandongo also surprised many, beating neighbours Sianganga 2-1. Guiding Nandongo was coach and former Fiji and Lambasa rep Solomon Thattarongo.
I prepare the team to win this IDC, and the win in the first game is very great, coming from behind to force to score 2 goals.
Thattarongo says his side is ready to create more upsets in the coming days.
We will try to win the next game, and then we go on to the semi-final.
The action continues for the next 5 days in the senior division before the winner is confirmed. Meli Tawanga, FBC Sports.
And in results from senior division games held this morning, Western champs Raki Raki secured the maximum points. Raki Raki was the only team to grab 6 points, beating Senganga 1-0 in its second pool match. Nandunga held Boto a 0-0 draw. In the secondary schools competition, Camille College proved too strong for Nandi Muslim, while Mbulileka College drew 2-2 with Vashist Moni. That's it from sports this evening. It's back to Amrita now with business.
The Fiji International Golf Tournament is providing exposure to Fiji like never before. The Natandola Beachland Estates is the direct result of piqued interest in property sales. Rohit Deo with the story.
Who would have thought 10 years ago that this pristine location would be worth millions of dollars?
It's an exclusive gated community with 24-hour security. We have 44 blocks altogether for sale, out of which we've sold about 10 of them.
Minutes away from the Natandola Bay Golf Course, this project is a shot in the arm not just for Natandola, but the economy as a whole.
It's a 99-year prepaid lease. That's what you will be buying here at Natandola. Prepaid lease meaning that for 99 years you don't have to worry about paying your ground rent. And all that is included in the sale price.
So this is one of the major development projects in this area. Pritchard says the Fiji International Golf Tournament, together with other factors, have contributed to this.
The resort and the golf course are what's the main selling points about this development, because we're outside, so a lot of people want something to do here.
Natandola Beachland Estate is the latest project to be delivered by Natandola Bay Resort Limited, a wholly owned subsidiary of the Fiji National Provident Fund. Rohit Deo, FBC News.
Digicel Fiji staff will now be able to teach people how to budget and save money. This is after ANZ and Digicel signed a deal on financial literacy program Money Minded. The program is aimed at helping people at the grassroots level.
Initially, when we started this program, we started with one-on-one basis, and I think it was taken very, very good. We started to go through into the villages, we started going through into some of the cities, and then we start making sure that, yes, we start meeting those organizations.
So this program is about empowering our staff at Digicel, and also giving the facilitators the opportunity to be able to then go out into the communities that we operate in.
Money Minded has been successfully delivered to 9,000 people across the Pacific. Well, it was the usual bright, warm and sunny day across the country with no significant rain. Lambasa and Ba were the warmest centres, recording 33 degrees. The rest of the centres were mild in the upper 30s. Now for tomorrow, sunny spells are forecast to continue in most areas of Fiji. And looking on to Saturday, expect a beautiful sunny day, so it looks like a great day to be at Albert Park to join the Fiji Day celebrations. At sea, east to southeast winds and 10 to 15 knots are expected, and moderate seas are expected as well. Recapping the headlines, the late Ratuchoni's body lies in state. Tax agency on track to hitting revenue target. And Biosecurity Agency warns against breach of emergency declarations. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. On to this week's question, and we are asking, should corporal punishment be reintroduced for violent criminals? To answer, visit our FBC website. You can also send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email, citizens@fbc.com.fj, or share it with us via our Facebook page, FBC News. If you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us those news tips at FBC News, or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. Good night.
Yandra! I love listening to Gold FM at Golden Point Resort. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hola, my name is General from Rakriti Village. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic.
I'm Moses from Valeu. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Marita Manako. I'm from Kandavu. I like listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Tilipa from Tavor Town. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.